to react to the world.
Yeah, and today we're headed all the way to
India.
That's
Woohoo!
right. You know, with the amount of videos that we've done now reacting to talent from India, which include a bunch of music videos, and the amazing dancer Allu Arjun, and the amazing dancers like The Kings,
The Kings,
and the
and the
Unbeatable group
Unbeatable.
that are dominating AGT. It's about time we learn a little bit about India, I thought.
That's right.
That's right. So this is a video, 15 things you didn't know about India. And I think this will be a good education for us and probably a bunch of other people around the world.
Good education before we go to India, because a lot of our friends message me on Instagram and say, please come to India.
I think they're just saying it to you. They probably say,
Just me?
just you, Lulu. Don't bring John.
No.
They didn't say that on my Instagram.
You're crazy. No, you definitely said bring John.
Right. Let's just check this out, because there's so many amazing things about India. It is actually one of the countries I have never been to, which is a little bit ridiculous because I have so many friends from India.
Right.
But it's not like they invited me over or nothing like that. But hey, if you love anything about India, you want to see us react to more Indian talent, make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe down below.
Because we do a lot of reactions from that part of the world. Probably some of the most amazing music videos you will ever see. Right here. Boom. We're going to react to them.
Traveling around the world while sitting in our chair.
I knew you were going to say that.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
And away we go.
Hello A-Luxers, and welcome back to another fascinating video. Today we're looking at incredible facts you didn't know about the 7th largest country in the world, India. With a population of over 1 billion people, India is one of the most influential and powerful countries in the world. Its cultural history is particularly complex and detailed,
that is
spanning
beautiful.
500 years of predominantly Hindu philosophy and theology. Thousands of years later, modern India is profoundly different.
India definitely has some of the most amazing architecture in the world. Yeah. I don't know why it's only just to that part, but that style is so amazing.
Details are so important.
With its own colossal film industry, a diverse population, and an astonishingly big workforce. Because alux.com is dedicated to becoming the world's best resource on the most interesting countries and destinations, we couldn't wait to bring you 15 things you didn't know about India. Number 1.
I thought that was real for a minute there.
Oh, me too.
Bollywood's highest-grossing film made 27 times more than Hollywood's highest-grossing film.
What?
For every 600 films Hollywood produces, Bollywood will make 1,000. They're the most profitable films, too, when you compare the numbers. Hollywood's highest-grossing film was 2009's Avatar, which made $2.8 billion at the box office. In stark contrast, the Bollywood film 3 Idiots brought in $76.81 billion. Now that's a profit.
What? 3 Idiots. Must be a good movie. I want to watch it now.
Number 2. Shampoo was invented in the 16th century, India. Derived from the Sanskrit champu, which means massage, the concept of shampooing was invented in India in the 16th century. Herbs and natural ingredients were used then, rather than today's combination of modern chemicals and fragrances, in particular gooseberry, sapindus, and fruit pulp. When colonial visitors came to India, they brought the practice of shampooing and hair washing back with them to Europe. Number 3. Diamonds were first mined in India, and it was the world's greatest producer. India was the most productive diamond mining country in the world until diamonds were found in Brazil in the 18th century. There are now 3 active diamond mines in India, and the famous Kohinoor diamond was found in the 13th century. The 793-carat stone went from person to person and was eventually acquired by Queen Victoria during the British Raj in India.
Oh my god, I just realized the top of that thing is a diamond.
Wow.
Holy Jesus.
Number 4. Elephants in Kerala can treat themselves to a spa day. Punathur Kata Elephant Yard Rejuvenation Center provides elephants with baths, massages, and soothing pamper sessions. The spa caters to 59 clients and is a way of giving back to the sacred animal. Elephants play
Oh,
an
I
important
like
role
that.
in Kerala's temple processions and are a significant feature of the region, so they deserve a massage every now and then.
Aww.
Number 5. The largest
Holy
religious
cow.
gathering in India can be seen from space.
That's a lot of freaking people if you can see them
Wow.
from space. That's why you gotta be careful, like picking your nose in public, because they can see you from space.
Kumbh Mela is a Hindu pilgrimage which takes people to the banks of the Ganges every 12 years. The major event involves ritualistic bathing, devotional singing, religious discussion, and feeding the poor. The attendance figures had to be capped at 75 million, making it the largest
Oh my
pilgrimage
goodness.
on Earth.
Was he fully nude?
Uh-huh.
Number
But
6.
covered with, like,
Ancient
the
Indian
white-
civilization is the oldest in the world. We often look to ancient Greece and ancient Egypt, but Indian civilization dates back to 2400 BC, when it was split into 16
BC.
monarchies, known as the Mahajanapadas. There are even authenticated human remains that date back to 30,000 years in South Asia. The oldest Hindu texts were written between 2000 and 500 BC, as well as the first texts on science, medicine, and astronomy. We actually owe the number 0 to Indian mathematics, who created the concept.
I think at some point they didn't have a 0. Like, how would they say we have none? We don't know I have none. No 0.
Number 7. India is home to every major world religion and doesn't have a national language. Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, and Sikhism all have a place in Indian society, with the most dominant
wow.
being Hinduism and Islam, covering 80%.
That is so beautiful. I
God,
want to
those
go.
temples are so amazing. Patterns on the floor, the architecture, just the
And 14% of the population, respectively. Judaism has existed in India for the last 2,215 years, and some of these smaller religions also featured, including Jain, Zoroastrian, and Baha'i. India also doesn't have a single national language because 1,652 dialects are spoken across the different regions.
Ooh.
Number 8. A polling station is set up for just one voter in Gir Forest at every election. Every election, Marant Barandas Deshandas gets his local polling station entirely to himself because he's the only resident of Gir Forest. He's been voting in Indian elections since 2004 and never misses one now that he has his own personal polling station. Mahant is the caretaker for the one temple in the forest in Gujarat, a home he shares with the rare Asiatic lion.
Does that mean someone from the government has to go to this one station just to
Just
get
to
his
collect
one
his
vote?
vote.
Number 9. The Indian government has used scaffolding to hide the Taj Mahal when airstrikes are predicted. During the Second World War and the Indian-Pakistan Wars, scaffolding was put up around the distinctive domes of the Taj Mahal to make it less obvious from above. They feared strikes by the Japanese Air Force during World War II, so hid their most famous landmark. More recent threats to the Taj Mahal include the rising
That
levels
is
of
so
the Yamuna River, which has cracked the
beautiful.
tomb underneath the structure. There have been predictions that the tombs could collapse at any time. Check out our video 15 Most Expensive Man-Made Attractions in the World to find out what ranks along the stunning Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal is probably one of those 7 wonders of the world that we have to go see. It's just stunning. Every time I've seen it, it looks stunning.
Number 10. Indians invented navigation, yoga, the world's cheapest car, and thorium-based nuclear power. Indian society can take credit for some of the most important inventions in the world. They were the first to create the concept of navigation, over 6,000 years ago, using rivers and seas. Yoga was created 5,000 years ago and has roots in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. The world's cheapest car, the Tata Nano, which costs around 100,000 rupees, the equivalent of $1,400.
Oh my god, that's cheap. $1,400?
Wow.
That's like 2 months of my car payment. And then I'm still paying for another 5 years.
And India is the home of the first next-generation thorium reactor. The country is aiming to produce 30% of its electrical power with thorium by 2050. Number 11. You can stay at the former Indian royal residence for $88,000 a night. If you want to stay at the
Holy
lap of
cow.
luxury, forget Paris and forget Dubai. India is the home of the most stunning palaces in the world. Once the home of the Maharajas,
Wow.
That's more money than the average salary in the United States.
Dang, this wealthy people.
there are opulent palaces throughout the country, with some dating back hundreds of years. The Kumarakam Lake Resort hosted Prince Charles's 65th birthday, and the 450-year-old Samod Palace in Jaipur has hosted famous faces from all over the world. Number 12. King Jai Singh of Alwar snubbed Rolls-Royce in the best possible way. India
rode
has
in
a
on a
long and
tiger.
colorful history of quirky monarchies and extravagant kings and queens. The King of Alwar in northeast India was insulted by a Rolls-Royce salesman when he visited a showroom in London. A very proud man, he ordered a whole fleet of Rolls-Royce cars and gave them to the city's waste department so they could use them to transport rubbish throughout the city.
Wow.
That's brilliant. Brilliant way to rub it in.
Number 13. 1 million Indians are millionaires. India has one of the most dramatic wealth gaps in the world, with 35% of the
1
country living
million.
below the poverty line. Those who live way above it live a very different kind of life.
Yeah, India has like huge separation between the very rich and the very poor.
The richest Indian in the world is Mukesh Ambani, who has a net worth of $53 billion. The 59-year-old made his money in the oil and gas industry, and his billion-dollar home recently made headlines because he chose to build a 27-story skyscraper instead of a sprawling mansion.
Holy cow.
Holy moly, that's his house, the whole
What the
skyscraper?
hell? Oh, can I visit?
Sure. Just make sure you knock first.
Number 14. The first account of plastic surgery was found in an ancient Sanskrit
account.
text. One of the first medical texts was the Sushruta Samhita, which can be dated back to the 6th century CE. It's one of the very first examples of a medical text and discusses surgery.
Oh, hell
incisions,
no. I am
skin
not going to
grafts,
get
and
plastic
nose
surgery
reconstruction.
like that.
Britain's first
Wow.
nose job wouldn't be performed until 1814, a worrying 80 years before the Sushruta
Oh my
Samhita would be
God.
translated.
How are you not going to see scars or die from
Number
some
15.
infection doing
One
that?
of India's most extravagant weddings caused controversy because it was too extravagant. Lasting 5 days and costing $74 million, the wedding of the daughter of a prominent businessman made headlines in 2016
Bakit
for all the
masaktan?
wrong reasons. The $2.5 million wedding sari,
A sorry? That's $2.5 million.
Bollywood royalty in attendance, and gold Bangalore Palace setting was denounced as an obscene display of wealth.
Yeah, no
Millions of
kidding.
Indians live in poverty, so the wedding was criticized for being in poor taste.
I mean, hey, it's your money, right?
Do whatever you want to do.
I mean, the money goes to pay for something, so money's going around, but that's insane.
There are many stereotypical images of India, but there's so much more to this incredible country than many of us know. The center of many industries and the world's biggest democracy,
Oh,
India
it's
has
beautiful.
influenced art,
Beautiful.
literature, science, and medicine potentially more than any other nation.
Well, that was fascinating, actually. That was actually
Yes.
a pretty good summary of a lot of things that I didn't know before.
The whole thing mesmerized me. Insanely informative. I didn't know that surgery was invented in India.
Well, plastic surgery.
But wow. Could you imagine back then?
The surgery must have been so good that even after they did it, you look better. You know what I'm saying? Because you could do surgery and just cut anything off and F up your face. It don't mean it's plastic surgery. It's just effing up your face.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, it's impressive. One day we're going to go visit all those beautiful architecture that they have in India. It's amazing how it's very detailed. It's the can you imagine the time and effort that they have to put just to create that magnificent building?
It's a lot of labor that probably is not pretty. Let's put it that way. Those kind of buildings were built on the backs of people that were died building those things. Right? And we have a king that asked the population to build. It doesn't matter, like ancient Egypt, ancient China. It's, a lot of blood and sweat and tears went into making them. I mean, the beautiful thing about it is it's one of the places in the world where that kind of architecture still remains. That was really smart of them to protect it when the Japanese were bombing it, as an example, which I didn't realize that actually the Japanese bombers got that far south. I didn't realize that they actually swept through China all the way through India. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine? The Taj Mahal could have been gone. We would have lost literally one of the top 7 wonders of the world.
Wow. It is.
Yeah, because a lot of those old structures are just decimated today. They're just no longer around. And I think that's what's lost. I mean, you may have like the Greek Pantheon, which is at this point, if you go there, like a lot of those old Greek buildings are decimated. They look just completely ruined. They look like ruins more than actual structures. The fact that these buildings in India still remain and are kept in that condition is some preservation. I mean, amazing preservation.
They never had an earthquake?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
No idea.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's not the original bricks. They had to constantly rebuild it and buff it up and prop it up. There's no way it can look like that after thousands of years.
Yeah.
Shoot, our apartment doesn't even look like this after 1 year. It looks like it's already in old ruins. So trust me. Yeah, they put a lot of maintenance into that.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.